and it's the 9th of March. It's 6 days since the last sighting of Sarah Everard. And you, us, we are the commissioner of the Met Police Force. No, actually, let's be the joint commissioner, like the commissioner of the commissioners. Let's be the guy at the top, the big cheese at the cop shop of the Metropolitan Police. It's been 6 long days without hearing a peep from Miss Everard, and it's been 6 long days where the UK press and all of the media from every Western country in the world and all of their people are focused on the Met and looking for Sarah Everard. And you, us, we, the boss, we're going to a hui. A hui is what Aotearoa is for a meeting. So we've got a hui booked up with all our joint chiefs of staff, and they're going to give me a debrief on exactly where we are in the hunt for Sarah Everard. So we walk into this room, into this hui of ours, and all the boys and girls that of old school stand up, and I say sit, and then they do, and we walk to the front of that very long table and take a seat, and we say, right, now, Phillips. Yes, sir. And we say to Phillips, right, Phillips, where exactly are we? And Phillips says, this is what we know now. We have CCTV footage here on the screen now. We have Sarah just after 9 heading eastbound towards her home. She enters the store, makes a small purchase, and leaves again, still heading towards her place. And Philip says, this next bit, boss, pay attention. At 9:35, a mounted bus camera captures 2 figures. We believe positive identification on Sarah and the driver at this time, not known, on Ponders Road, standing beside a white Vauxhall Astra, which is parked on the pavement with its hazard lights flashing. 9:38 p.m, another bus mounted camera moving same direction captures the same vehicle with the 2 front car doors now open. We believe at this time the offender has somehow managed to get Miss Everard into the back of his car. Now, what we believe, sir, is that he's managed to be able to get Sarah into the back of his car by acting as a police officer. At the time, an eyewitness account from driving by at the time said that he witnessed a young lady being placed into handcuffs by an officer that was undercover at the scene. And we go, oh my God, he's used a ruse by acting like a police officer, most likely pretending that it's something to do with the COVID rule shutdown. He's used a ruse by using the trust that Miss Everard had for the police, that trust to get her into the back of his car. That's disgusting. We had better get on top of this. Get a media post out there immediately to make sure that the community knows that this wasn't us. This was some sicko, psycho, sadist, and not a police officer. And then Phillips pipes up again and says, excuse me, boss, if I'm just allowed to finish. And we say, carry on, Phillips, good work, carry on. Oh, back to the bus camera, sir, and back to IDing this psycho-sexual, sicko, sadist. And luckily, we get this shot. And this shot, we're able to clean up enough to be able to get the license plate of that Vauxhall. And that, sir, that has allowed us to track the vehicle down to this rental car company. And from further investigations, we have found that that car, the Vauxhall, was rented by an individual named Wayne Cousins. And then we stand up and say, right, do we have him? Right, let's go get the sicko who's acting like a cop. And then Phillips pipes up again and says, well, it's just one more thing, sir. And we're like, well, what is it, Phillips? Well, sir, he's acting like a cop because he is one. He's actually a member of the Met. And we're like, What's that? He's a police officer. Yes, sir. He works for diplomatic protection. He's suit security. Oh my God! How can this happen? How can this psycho sicko be one of us? How can he be a member of the Met? How the hell could this sicko get through Met recruitment and selection? Well, sir, it's not just that. Philip pipes up again and he says, well, he was able to stay in for years and even get promoted all the way through. That's why he's a dippo, sir. How the fuck, gentlemen, how the fuck is that even possible? And then Sally from corporate pipes up and goes, well, sir, there are only two reasons why someone that's sick and twisted could ever stay in and fool all of us. For someone to get past our recruitment and selection, to stay in for all those years, and to become a dippo, sir. Two things that must have happened. And we'd be like, and what's that? Sally from corporate. And Sally from corporate goes, well, sir, the first thing is that he kept under the wire, sir. And we're like, what are you talking about, Sally? Well, he never showed his head, sir. He just acted like one of us. He must have never placed a step out of line and identified himself, sir. Otherwise, we would have got this sick, twisted bastard, wouldn't we? And we'd be like, carry on, Sally. And what else? Well, sir, the second thing would be that to act normal and to blend in and to get past our recruitment and selection, he must be a genius, sir. And we'd be like, well, explain, Sally from corporate. Well, sir, you think of him as a Bond villain, that type of genius, sir, to be able to convince recruitment and selection, rise through the ranks and even carry a gun, to be promoted to a diplomatic protection. The dignitaries, sir, the dignitaries, other countries' kings and queens, presidents, and their children, sir. To stay that long, rise that far, and nobody saw a thing, he must have been a genius, sir, a Bond villain. I would say that this genius has already figured out a way in which he has an airtight alibi, sir, when we catch up with him. And we'd be like, carry on, Sally. And Sally'd be like, well, sir, someone with that kind of intelligence that could fool all of us here, he would have to already have created an airtight alibi, sir. He would already have a story prepared and most likely have loads of evidence to show that it definitely couldn't be him. This type of intelligence, sir, this kind that we can expect when we see him for the first time, when we place him under arrest. Really, Sally from corporate? Yes, sir. And we'd be like, well, that should be good to see. And we say, Phillips. Phillips goes, yes, sir. Phillips, I'm going to send you to go pick up this sicko. And Phillips would be like, well, sir, I don't arrest people anymore. And we, as the boss, now go, listen carefully here now, Phillips. Because now you fucking do. And I say to all of those people in that room, now listen carefully, all of you. And all of the cops in that room go deadly quiet. And I go, ladies and gentlemen, you being at this table in a month will depend upon what happens in the next 24 hours. You, Phillips, you will go and arrest him now. Make sure your body cam's juiced up and on, and I will live feed into this room onto that screen in 20. I want that, and I want that right fucking now. So leave now. And Phillips leaves the room, and we turn to Sally from corporate and say, now, Sally from corporate, the only way in which you get to keep your job in this agency, Sally, is if two things happen. And those two things are the two things you mentioned, Sally. This is my universe, the DC universe, Sally from corporate, and this sicko had better meet those two things that you said, Sally, that he hasn't stepped out of line, not even once, Sally, not in any way whatsoever, that he is squeaky clean, so to speak, Sally. And number two is that he better have that awesome alibi all worked out, Sally. He better have all that evidence already there, Sally. He better be that fucking genius that you say he is, Sally from corporate. Because if he's not either one of those, you, Sally from corporate, will make sure that you'll be pushing parking tickets and not drinking lattes anymore, henceforth. And then we receive a call on the phone and answer it and go, yes, it's the boss speaking. And everyone listens intently, and then we go, send it over. 19 minutes goes by. And then there's a crackle on the screen, and Sally from corporate looks straight at us, and we look straight back at Sally and say, now, Sally from corporate, let's see your fucking genius Goldfinger at work.
So we're here to talk to you about Sarah. I'll show you a picture. Do you know Sarah?
I don't know.
Okay. Sarah went missing. I'll show you some pictures of her on the day.
Okay.
Sarah went missing on Wednesday, and her parents obviously and her family are really worried about her now. The inquiry that's been conducted so far has led us to come and speak to you about it and to see what you know about Sarah. Okay, so would you like to? Do you know where Sarah is?
No.
Right. Okay. Do you know anything about what happened to her?
I know that she went missing up in London somewhere, about a week ago or so, just from what I got on the news.
Okay. Have you ever personally met her?
No, not personally, no.
Have you had any interactions with her at all?
No, why would I have personal interactions with her?
Well, it's very difficult because I can't go into a lot of the evidence because obviously that would require, that's not part of what an urgent interview is, okay? This interview is just about trying to find her. Because
Sure.
she's been missing for a while now.
I'm sat in handcuffs and you're asking me why I know her, so you must have something to say that I know her.
Well, as I said, you've been arrested on suspicion of kidnap, and we believe that you've been involved in her disappearance and taking her away from her family.
Okay.
So we are trying to find her. Obviously, everybody is very worried about her. She's got, parents. She's got she's got siblings. She's got a boyfriend. There's a lot of people that care about her.
Sure.
If you've seen her on the news, the number of people that are reaching out about her.
Sure.
Out there looking for her every day, and she's missing. And our job, our primary job here, is to find her and to try and find her safe and well.
Okay.
Now, we believe that you know something about where she is, and that's why we're here, to look for her and to try and find her. And that's why we're talking to you now, is to try and get you to have a good think about it and tell us anything you can about whether or not we're to find her.
Okay. Well, I am in financial, and I've been lent on by I don't know who they are. They're a group, a gang, whatever, and they told me, right, I need to go and pick up girls and get them to them. So I said, not happening, and it then came through that they're going to harm my family, take them away, and they'll use them instead. At that point I had no option to try and find somebody. So I don't, there's a couple of names. I was told a place to take her. That's it. That is all I know. And to this group of people.
Tell me about them. I need to find them. Tell me everything you know.
Okay.
That you'll help me.
There was a white Sprinter van. They it was between sort of Len and Maidstone area that I dropped her off. I still don't know. I don't know. They just I just parked my car up, and then the van come up behind me, flashed me, and they all jumped out, and then they took this girl. They said you've done good, and I don't know if my family's going to be alright still. They threatened to take my family away from me. So at that point, I'm doing what I can to protect my family. That's it. So all I know is that it was a roundabout. We could drive there now. I could show you. But roughly, I don't know Lenham Maidstone area at all.
If we did it on Google, if we did it on Google Maps, like Google Earth, if we drove it, would
Right.
you like to do it?
I drove from Ashford to Maidstone.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
There's a roundabout that breaks up, I guess. So this is the first big roundabout you come to. And you would carry straight over to Maidstone, but instead I went round that roundabout and back up another road.
and at that point I was flashed and pulled over. You guys got out, opened my door, opened that door, pushed me out against the front of the car, took the girl, drove off. That's it. They said we'll be in touch. So I'm here, I'm off work with stress because I'm here to protect my family. I want to be here 24/7 for my family. They come from my family. I've got nothing myself. I've got no choice.
I'll go back through the route with you in a minute, alright? But how do they contact you? How did you contact them?
I tried to take over on one of their call girls and rip her off. So she's told them, and they've got me. So
How do they? No, but what I mean is, how do they contact you? How is it they've been in contact with you to make these threats?
they just tell me, be here, be here. So Hotel Burston down in Folkestone, got to be here. Okay, so I turned up. But I've got no mobile number, and they have got my mobile number. They're obviously outside watching, following. I just, honestly.
How are they telling you to be there? Be there? How is it they're giving those directions?
Yeah, they'll come outside. So they'll be outside here.
Yeah.
And then they'll say, right, you're going to be in Folkestone at this time, or you're going to be in Ashford at this time. That's it. There's no links, no telephone numbers. I'm completely on my own, but at the same time being threatened. It had Romanian plates on the van, white, like Mercedes Sprinter type van.
The room goes quiet, and I say, "That's 1 for 1, Sally." And Sally pipes up and goes, "Sir, I see it's maybe not quite the Goldfinger standard." And we say back to Sally from corporate, "Goldfinger, Sally. I've heard a saying, Sally from corporate, when it comes to dumbness, you see. And this cop, this Goldfinger of yours, Sally, this guy put the J in genius, Sally from corporate. The J in genius." Then Sally says, "Sir, I can assure you that this is just an act, sir. He's just playing us." And how do you know that, Sally from corporate? And Sally says, "Because, sir, he managed to get through and stay in and be squeaky clean. He's never broken a rule. Nobody ever picked him up to be able to identify that he was the sicko, sir. So he's been playing us, sir. He's playing us now." And just at that moment, James walks into the room. And we say, "Good evening, James." And James says, "Good evening, sir." And then James hands us a folder and says, "It's all there, sir." And we say, "Thank you, James." And James says, "Thank you, sir," and leaves the room. And Sally from corporate says, "What's MI6 doing here, sir?" And we turn to Sally from corporate and say, "Well, Sally from corporate, being the boss, I get a phone, and that phone allows me to call James and his alphabetical friends, and they pull everything that they had on the sicko's digital footprint and beyond, Sally. The things that they do, you know, all that Five Eyes stuff, Sally. You know, us and all those Aotearoa folk down that way, Sally from corporate. So now, Sally, we see if this sicko fuck who fooled us all has ever popped his sicko head up to be noticed so that we could identify him, Sally, because he better have not, Sally from corporate." Then Phillips walks back into the room and goes, "Sir," and we say, "Phillips, quiet, I'm about to do something here." And Phillips goes, "Sir, you need to hear this." And we say, "Really?" And Phillips goes, "Yes, sir, you do."